Hey, what's going on, you guys? So today is day 3 of my fitness journey that I've been kind of going on the last 3 days, and it's something that I'm really trying to put my health more forward with my diet and my exercise routine. I'm trying to make it way more present. You know, I don't have a problem with working out or eating correctly, but I just have a problem at the same time. So, you know, I'm not going to ramble on too long about this. This video is about motorcycles and stuff like that, but I kind of want to hold myself accountable for everything that I'm doing. So, you know, I just kind of wanted to throw it out there on the internet, so maybe it'll make me a little bit more accountable. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to do it for myself, but you know, maybe you guys want to join along with me. I started officially on Monday. Today's Wednesday. Should be going, this video should be going up at the same time, like same day. So without further ado, I just wanted to tell you guys about kind of what I'm doing, and maybe you guys want to join along with me. So if you guys are interested in doing it, I'm going from Monday to a month after Monday. I'm gonna take a picture tonight because I forgot to on Monday of what I'm looking like, and then I'll take a picture 30 days from then, and then we'll kind of do a compare and contrast so you guys can see what I actually did or didn't do. Alright guys, now to the video. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Alex back again. Today I think I wanna talk about what I think the perfect starter bike is. Hey guys, Alex here. Just to jump cut into here, I kind of never get to the point on what bike to buy, like what I think is the perfect bike. Short story short, if you don't care about listening to everything, there really isn't a good answer to this, and I kind of like go into that. I basically just say to be responsible with your choice and to be smart and to not do anything dumb. So back to the video. And I know it's a topic that people have discussed for practically as long as there's been more than one bike to choose from, but I think it's one that I like putting my take in on because I see it everywhere, especially like on Reddit or motorcycle forums. I just kind of see it everywhere, and while I totally understand why people ask this question a lot, I think I want to weigh in a little bit. So, as you guys may know, I'm in the United States of America, so we have a little bit different guidelines on what you can and can't have as a first-time vehicle. That was not cool. Okay, buddy. So we have a little bit different guidelines for what you can have and can't have. Or sorry, we don't have those guidelines, excuse me. I'm all thrown off a little bit. So you could literally get your permit and then go buy a S1000. You could do that, like legitimately, you could go do that. And there would be no one or no law stopping you from being able to do that. Do I think that's a good idea? No. Don't get me wrong here. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Do I think it's a completely terrible idea? Yes and no, to be totally honest with you. But we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to start there. We'll go with where I think you should start. And that depends on what are you using this motorcycle for? Are you a commuter? Are you just going on weekend rides? Are you trying to go into the desert? Are you trying to go into the mountains? Well, because if you are, it's a different story, right? If you're looking for a commuter, a super sport, whether that be a 400 Ninja or Ninja 400, or a CBR 600RR, or a S1K, or a Ducati V2, or a V4. Like, that's not a good bike to commute on every day. I just don't think I've done it. I did it for a long time on a CBR 600RR. I had a 30-minute commute when I was living in California. And did I love it? on a super sport? Well, yeah, because it was in California. I could lane split. I went through traffic. So that's exactly why I rode the motorcycle. But it sucked to commute on days where I wasn't riding with friends or, you know, anything like that, because you're craned over, you're in this crappy position. If you're on the highway, you know, that bike didn't have cruise control like this one has cruise control, which is whew, money. I've never used a feature more. So I think a super sport isn't great for commuting, but if you're looking for like a weekend toy, dude, a super sport is money, dude. You can go be goofy in the canyons, you can go be goofy with friends, you can go learn to stunt safely in parking lots, and I repeat, safely. You know, you can go do some fun stuff with a super sport. Or you are looking at, like, if you're commuting specifically, you're best off getting a cruiser, or a cruiser of sorts. You know, it doesn't have to be a Harley, it doesn't have to be an Indian, but let's say like for a beginner, a Honda Rebel, right? They're relatively affordable, even if you had to have a new bike. They are relatively affordable. They're reliable, from my understanding. I've never owned one, I've never ridden one. You can get a Sportster, which I've ridden, and I really like those. They're torquey, they're fun. It's a Harley, so it's cool. No matter how much anybody makes fun of Sportster guys, those bikes are super sick. That's my recommendation. I started actually on a Suzuki Savage LS 650, I think is what it was. Maybe it was a 550, I don't remember. It was like a 1998. I paid $800 for it. It had 800 miles on it. And I tooled around on that thing till I blew it up. Really, because I think the previous owner didn't do maintenance and I didn't do maintenance. So I blew that thing up. I wasn't mad about it. It's $800. It got me to and from work. It did its thing. So I loved it, you know. I had the Suzuki Cruiser, which I really enjoyed, and then I also had I had an Indian Chief bought for Dark Horse that I also really enjoyed. I had that one for a couple of weeks, but I had decided that I didn't want to. I know it sounds crazy, a couple of weeks. I do that. That's kind of like a stupid thing that I do. Green light. But, you know, Cruiser's a great bike. So, you know, if you're trying to go into the mountains, you're that kind of dude, you know, and you already know you need a dirt bike or a adventure bike or something of the sort. There's naked bikes that are awesome for commuting, and they're like sport bikes, so you can kind of cruise with sport bike groups. There's kind of a lot of different routes that you can go, and you don't have to be stuck to any single one. You can buy, sell, trade, and just kind of find the niche of bike you like. I think it's just important that you guys do ride. And, you know, I think back to the statement I was making earlier about Litre bikes and stuff, I see it all too often. Somebody buys a Ninja 400, they buy a CBR 500, whatever, a 650R, whatever, and then they ride it for like a month, and they're like, hell yeah, I'm a great rider, I'm the one, I'm that guy. And then they're like, it's time for a Litre bike, and then they go buy a Litre bike, and because they think they know how to ride, they just start romping on. Like, oh, the first couple times they didn't die, so they're like, dude, I can ride this thing, I'm meant for a Litre bike. And then they get hurt, or worse, they die. And it's a tale all this time, because someone thinks they know what they're doing, they get in a horrible accident, and then they're jacked up, man. It sucks. Whereas I think if you, like, the inverse of that, which I don't know if it's any better, but, you know, I'm just talking here. Whereas if you started, look at that Porsche. Hoo-wee! That shop's super sick. They do body work, I think, but they've always got some sick lowered trucks or some super cool car. Anyways, whereas with a Litre bike, at least you can put it in like a rain mode, and then you know you don't know how to ride.
And maybe it's a little better, I don't know. Either way, dude, just please be smart and be responsible with your life. I don't think people say that crap enough. You need to be responsible with your life. And I'm so tired of seeing these like AGV pista kids rolling on the highway. They're like 19 on R1s or S1Ks or, you know, some sort of piss missile, rolling that shit at 140 miles an hour, pulling a wheelie, and they're like, oh, fuck it, I'm so tight. Fuck, who needs life insurance? My dad has me on his medical plan. You know what I mean? Like, wild the way people treat their lives. Dude, I don't care how expensive a freaking helmet is. I'm not gonna put myself, to the best of my ability, put myself into a position where my dome is gonna bounce off the concrete at 130 miles an hour. I'm just not gonna. I do stupid stuff, but can I just teach you something? It's what I told my Marines when I was in the Marine Corps. If you're gonna do something dumb, don't do two dumb things at once. So if you're gonna speed, use your turn signals. Don't wheelie. Don't do dumb stuff. If you're gonna wheelie, don't speed. Don't do it where you know cops are. You know what I mean? I know this sounds simple enough, but you'd be surprised how many people don't freaking like acknowledge this, dude. It's like, if you're gonna speed, don't do it in a fully blacked out Hellcat. Like, maybe not the move. I don't know, man. I'm just please be responsible for yourself, man. You have parents to come home to. You might have kids. You might have a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, brothers, sisters. But you have a life to go home to, hopefully. And if you don't right now, you will one day. So be responsible for yourself and others, man. Because there's nothing in life that's worth dying over other than the people in your life. That's the only thing I would be like, man, if someone told me like, yeah, you know, I jumped in front of a bullet for my wife, I'd be like, dude, that's amazing. You're incredible. Whereas if someone was like, yeah, I died, obviously I know you can't talk if you're dead, but like, if you could, I died because I was doing a wheelie at 150 miles an hour for TikTok clout for Saw, dude. You're like, dude, eat shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, RIP, I'm sad that you died. I don't think anyone should die on a bike. It sucks regardless. But, you know, a little bit, you're like, I mean, you didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? So, like, be responsible when you're choosing a bike and when you're choosing your gear. I would rather you have more money in gear than more money on your bike. I see this all the time on forums. People are like, yeah, I just went and bought a brand new ZX6R. But what kind of, like, you think it's okay to buy a used helmet off eBay? You're like, dude, come on. Buy a used bike. Throw, you know, buy a brand new Shoei, buy a brand new Nolan, buy something like quality. I'm gonna give you a hint. That sheriff looks like he's following me. Give you a hint. If it's a helmet that you see in the a helmet that you see in the in MotoGP, probably a good helmet to use. Now, if they're not, doesn't mean it's bad gear. It just means that maybe they don't sponsor a team, but usually good advice. Wow, Lamborghini machine. Little Gallardo action. Gallardo, excuse me. But yeah, like, quality gear. If you see they're sponsoring a MotoGP team and a MotoGP rider's wearing that on a 300 horsepower motorcycle, you can probably ride it on your 15 horsepower cruiser. Okay, I'm just saying. And also, I'm so tired of seeing people wear those like crappy like cafe racer style helmets. When you plow into a car at 40 miles an hour, 20, doesn't matter, and your jaw goes through their fucking back windshield, and you're wondering why your jaw's been ripped off and now it's closed, like, why your face is all jacked up, it's because you weren't wearing a full face helmet. Just wear a full face freaking helmet, dude. It's not that hard. You look cooler wearing gear, in my opinion. I can't tell you how many times I see a Harley rider. Usually it's Harley guys. Harley guys wearing just like the yarmulke style ones, like rolling through revving their shit, and I'm like, wow, dude, you're a loser. Your family clearly doesn't like you if you're wearing that helmet. Like, clearly people don't like you, because they would tell you to wear a real helmet if they liked you. Just saying. You know, I'm not trying to say that I'm the best rider on planet Earth, because I'm not. I'm really not. I've been riding for off and on a decade, almost a decade, and I made a bunch of mistakes. I'll continue to make a bunch of mistakes. I'm not, you know, I'm not great, but I'm not bad either. And I think any advice I'm going to give you, it's just meant to help you, to save you from yourself. Because I was 18 once. You know, crap, I'm still young. I'm 27. I'm still young. But I remember someone would have told me at 18 or 19, like, spend more money. I mean, I did this, but like my friends around me, I didn't. I was like, man, you're not gonna wear a helmet? They'd be like, nah, dude. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You know? Like, I wish I would have had an older guy around me, or someone making videos that I watch, to be like, dude, don't be stupid. Wear this gear. Do your maintenance. Be responsible for everybody. It would have saved me several accidents from just being calm and cautious, being in the back of groups. I never really made a bad choice on what bike to buy, which is why it's harder for me to speak on. But ooh, look at that boy. See, now that's a sweet bike. I like them. It could never be my only bike. I'm thinking, like, I think if I were to have an only bike and it would be an adventure bike, it would be like an M1000XR, an S1000XR, or like a Multistrada V4, whatever. You know, but even then, I don't know, man. I'll just take my Explorer. You know, guys, but at the end of the day, that's kind of all I had to say. Be responsible. Pay attention to what style of riding you want to do, and then don't be afraid to change. Like, if you think you might be a sport bike guy and you might not be, who the frick knows? Just don't be afraid to make choices. Sell your bikes if you want to. Buy good gear, and just, you know, be responsible for your life, guys. Alrighty, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.